You have to be attracting open-minded partners and people in your life in order to have an orgy, right? If you're like deep in church or all your friends don't even know that you're interested or having an open relationship, you aren't going to have people around you that are interested in getting naked together. So the first step in manifesting this orgy that you want to create is starting to join different groups, meet different people, and make friends and partners with people that are open-minded. Welcome to the Open Bedroom Podcast. I'm your host, Jennifer Kalo. Welcome to conversations about open relationships, online dating, and creating relationship dynamics that truly align for you. Welcome back to the Open Bedroom Podcast. If you are watching me on YouTube or Spotify, you'll see I'm in my new winter mode setup. The sun shifts and blinds me through my window in the wintertime, so I scooch a little back further in my office, and you can see all my little plants and my signs. And yep, we've got a little bit of a different setup today. So I hope everybody had a happy Thanksgiving. I hope that you enjoyed spending time with your family, that you did something special. Scott and I went on a road trip and we went up to Mount Rushmore. So we live in Northwest Arkansas. We went up to Sioux City Falls first, and I got to see the falls in the middle of town. It was beautiful. We went back, continued to go more north towards Mount Rushmore, and then we went west towards Denver. And then plunged down to Flagstaff, where we got on a train to the Grand Canyon, and we spent the day at the Grand Canyon and on the train. And it was fantastic. We spent the night with his friend Betsy in Flagstaff, and that was loads of fun. Went out to eat, and then we drove all the way home, like 20 hours the next day. So we had quite the journey. We got to see all kinds of cool stuff. I love a road trip because you're like kind of captured in the car with your person. And so we got to do lots of audiobooks. We listened to shows on YouTube. We held hands. We popped into gas stations and I bought peach O's that I ate. Like it, I think I actually lost a few pounds on Thanksgiving week, versus gained them. Even though we were on the road trip, I did pretty good. I don't know if you guys know either. I'm on a health journey. So I'm down 30 pounds since May. I am on the semaglutide train and feeling fantastic in my body. And yeah, just continuing my health journey. In fact, I'm in like a sports bra and a yellow tank top because I just did my run for the day and pulled my hair out of my ponytail and thought, I want to record this for you guys. Okay. So I want to talk to you about my Thanksgiving orgy. Now you might be thinking, who has orgies? Like, that's super hot and super fun. And if you've been in an open relationship for a while, it might be something on your bucket list. Maybe you've even created one. But today I'll be speaking to people that have never had an orgy and have wanted to create one. And maybe it's on your bucket list. I've had two this year too, and it's almost December. So I want to talk to you today quickly. This is not going to be a super long podcast, but I want to talk to you today about how to create one and how to have one if that is your desire. Let me see. I'm like, do I want to tell you about the event in itself, or do I want to tell you my 3 steps to creating one? Let me go through my 3 steps to creating one, and then I'll leave the juicy stuff for the end, okay? Okay, so the first one is you have to be attracting open-minded partners and people in your life in order to have an orgy, right? If you're like deep in church or all your friends don't even know that you're interested or having an open relationship, you aren't going to have people around you that are interested in getting naked together. So the first step in manifesting this orgy that you want to create is Starting to join different groups, meet different people, and make friends and partners with people that are open-minded. The second step is you have to speak your intentions. So I see this often with either clients of mine or people in like throuple groups that I'm in, where people will say, oh, I really wish I could find a girlfriend for my wife and I, or I really wish I could find another man to try some bisexual stuff with. I think, I mean, I've always said I was straight, but my wife and I have been practicing with some pegging. That's really interesting to me. I wish I could find a guy that would, explore with me. All of this, including I just want to find a partner, all of it comes down to really showing up authentically and with intention of who you are trying to attract. Here's a great example. Scott and I had a date last night with someone, and her and her husband are married. Obviously, I said husband. And he is playing with some kind of femboy stuff, and which is fine. Zero judgment. Awesome. Well, he's telling his wife, I really want to have an experience with another couple. And she's like, okay, well, what does this look like? And he's like, well, I would be like male presenting, mass presenting. And I said to her, well, his profile doesn't say that at all. His profile has him in women's underwear. So another couple, especially if the couple is, straight or, maybe bi-curious or even bisexual, doesn't mean that the woman is going to be attracted to that. And it doesn't mean that the man is going to be attracted to that, right? It sounds to me like you're looking, husband, for a specific kind of partner who is interested and excited about the way that you're showing up on your dating profiles or your profiles in other areas that you are showing up in. And so we talked about this during dinner, and I said, the way that we show up on a platform is our marketing. Take, for example, the platform of LinkedIn. Well, we're not going to take our sexy shit. We're not going to go put it on LinkedIn, right? We're going to have a suit or a blazer or a cardigan, or we're going to do our hair and our makeup. We're going to put out there our education and what kind of jobs we've had. In the same way that when you're in a sexier space or you're on a dating app, if you're looking to attract a certain kind of person, you have to be really mindful in the way that you're showing up. So to bring us back to speaking your intentions, when I am looking for a girlfriend for Scott and I, or he is looking for a girlfriend for me and him, we are super clear that we speak our dynamic. Hi, I'm Jen, partnered to Scott, 41, bisexual. He's 43, 44, 43, still straight. We are seeking a woman to actually be in a polyamorous relationship with that we can date together. It's a very specific dynamic that I'm speaking right now. This is the same kind of thing that if you're in a Facebook group with swingers or poly people, or you have a FetLife profile, or you're on field. In any of those cases, if you are looking to have an orgy and you want to create one, you just update your profile to say, hi, I'm Jen, 41, bisexual. I live in Northwest Arkansas. I am really curious in curating an orgy. To me, that looks like 5 women to come and play with my partner, Scott and I. Or this looks like an all-girl orgy, and I'm looking for 7 women that might want to participate. In that intentionality, I'm making sure that my profile has certain kinds of pictures or not certain kinds of pictures in with the intention of I want to attract people that are similar to me. So in other words, if I don't want super trashy people, I'm going to make sure that my profile has classy pictures. Maybe I'm not showing private parts. Maybe things are a little bit more up and up because that's what I'm attracting in. In the opposite case, if I'm looking for just a fun romp in the hay and I don't really care who shows up, then I don't really necessarily care how my dating profile looks. Please ignore the hickey on my shoulder that Scott left. I'm going to try to hide it with my hair. If you are listening and you can't see and you want to see, go get on Spotify and watch on the app, or you can get on YouTube. Side note, Scott is great at leaving hickeys. I love getting them in the moment. And then afterwards, I'm like, oh shit, now I've got to like hide this for an entire week or two because I bruise really easily. And he was like slurping on my neck the other night. And I was like, you motherfucker, you had better not leave a hickey on my neck where people can see. So he'll leave them like, if you're looking in the video, he'll leave them like on my shoulders or like on my arms, where if I just cover it up, it's fine. Nobody can see. And he likes to see the marks on me. And I like to see the marks on me. I just don't necessarily want everybody else to see them, if that makes sense. So anyway, not getting beat up, just hickeys. I have hickeys on my arm. Okay. So we talked about intentionality. We talked about being very mindful in the kinds of pictures and imagery and copy that you were having on FetLife, on your dating profile, or anywhere else, maybe a Facebook group that you're in where you get to state who you are and what you're looking for. And you want to speak your intention. I want to create an orgy, or I want to curate the perfect orgy for my partner for his birthday. I'm looking for. Okay. The number three, the last thing I have, three, is create the environment. So I'll go into story mode, story time with Jen. Okay, here's how I've done it twice. The first part is I attract female partners that are very sexually empowered. Maybe even I should take a step back from that. Like, what does that mean? So I've been with women who have a very hard time being in their body. And that means that looks like we go out on a date with the intention of playing with someone. Afterwards, they're under that same impression of intention. And then they just drink and drink, or they want to get high. They want to get kind of out of their body to have the experience. And very quickly, Scott and I have learned that is not the kind of partner that we want. So we don't do that. We don't do that anymore. I think this happened once or twice. So that's an example of someone not embodied. They want to get out of their body. Maybe they have some sort of trauma. What I prefer is women who are sexually empowered, definitely embodied, know how to give themselves orgasms, know how to receive pleasure, know how to give pleasure, and are really sexually fluid, meaning this like mononormative mindset of one man and one woman, or I'm sinning if I'm having a three-way. It doesn't exist with my people. Typically, they have never gone to church. They're usually not religious, or their families never were. If I think of like all three of my girlfriends, they're all pretty much like that. And so they don't have all these layers of shame and guilt associated with them. So that's where I come back to the number one: attract open-minded partners and people. Because if you start attracting people and partners to you who clench their way through an orgasm, or really resist pleasure in their body, or have a really resistant mind to having multiple partners, or have a super resistant attitude towards, if I sleep with anybody, I'm going to get an STI. These are the kind of mindsets that are going to you're constantly going to be hitting a wall. So the second piece here, again, I'm just going through my list to show you in real life how I've curated 2 orgies this year. The second one is speaking your intentions. So I am very kitchen table poly, meaning all of my partners, I have 4 partners. I have Scott and Steph, who you've seen on our podcast. And then we have 2 other girlfriends that Scott and I see together. One's in Tulsa, one's in Springfield. And I am very, very open with all of them about, hey, I have a date with Steph this Saturday. She says hi. Or, man, I had such an amazing night with another girlfriend. I don't want to speak their names until they end up deciding that they want to come on the podcast and introduce themselves to you. So we'll just be vague with them for now. Um, so they all know each other already. Like Springfield met Steph just a few weeks ago after a night of incredible sex with her. I was like, hey, Steph, you want to go to brunch and meet her with me? Like, let's go have a girls' breakfast. And they immediately hit it off because I attract people that love other people, that are sexually adventurous, and that like women. Because we're all bisexual. All the women that I'm attracting are bisexual. And not just I think girls are pretty, but like I want to eat your pussy. So I start to talk to the girlfriends and I'm like, ladies, you're all sexually adventurous and I want you to come to Friendsgiving. I should have called it like a lover's giving or something sexy, but I called it Friendsgiving. And I said, we're all going to be under the same roof. Two of you live 2 hours away, so you should spend the night because it's going to be way too late on a Friday night. I did Friendsgiving before we left, and I'm curious if you might be interested in playing together. So I set the intention. I stated what I would like to see happen. I wanted to encourage play if that was something that they were into, and if they weren't into it, totally cool. We don't have to do it at all, or you can opt out. And I was met with this resounding fuck yes. Like, this is fucking hot as shit. Your girlfriends are hot because, of course, they are, because that's who you attract. And yeah, totally. Every one of them was like, absolutely, I'm a hell yes. So I just created the event, I created the environment. And that's my number three. So I invited them all over. We did a Friendsgiving theme. Each one brought a dish. I did the turkey. We made it super easy. We actually invited another friend over who wanted to meet the girlfriend. So it was all of my partners plus a friend. And we had a wonderful night. And I made some fun, like Crown and Coke drinks because they wanted to be a little bit loosened up for this. And I had a request to bring out the massage table. So we have a really nice open floor plan house, and right by the fireplace, I laid out the massage table, and then I set the space as well in our bedroom. So of course, like fresh sheets, there's candles in there, there's lube on either side of the bed. There's three splash blankets, three all over the bed. Pro tip on your splash blankets, especially if you have someone in your life that squirts, is layer them. So if the top one gets thoroughly soaked, you just peel it off and then you have two more layers to go, which is really cool. So we'd eaten. We all chose to eat really light meals, even though it was Thanksgiving. We just got kind of like we'd made little mini plates and just ate a little bit of everything. And I went to Walmart and I bought those like cheap plastic to-go containers that are like 30 for $7. And and then one of the other girlfriends helped me quickly make to-go meals for everybody to take home the next morning, which was amazing to get to share in that. And then we didn't feel obligated to just like stuff our faces, with again the intention of like we're going to be boinking around on each other, so don't eat too much turkey because that's going to be gross. And then we ate. Our friend realized when it was time for her to go, she and her dog left, and then we were all left together. And I just kind of casually was like, hey, Springfield, do you want to get on the massage table? And she was like, yeah. In my mind, I was thinking, because there were five of us, I imagined half the group would go into the bedroom and start to kind of fool around, and then the other half would kind of stay around the massage table. Everybody went to the massage table. So she had four sets of hands on her, eight different hands. And with our girlfriends, I like to kind of take masculine charge because we have Scott, obviously. And then we have all these women. And so I try to help him. And so I was like, okay, I start playing with her. We've done all her back. We've done all this like sensual, sexy, scratchy, massagey stuff. I'm like, do you want us to do your front? Do you want to flip over? And she's like, yeah, I do. So she flips over. And then I like sneak out and I thought, what would I want? Like, what would be really fun for me? And so I went and grabbed like my favorite wand massager, my vibrator, and I grabbed some coconut oil. And then I came back and I was like, got down in her ear and I was like, hey, babe, would it be okay if I played with your pussy? She was like, oh my God, yes. I was like, how do you feel about a vibrator and some fingers? So I was very clear in my intention of how I wanted to play with her. I wanted to get her consent that those were things that felt good for her. And she was ready. And she was like, Lord Jesus, please come. Yes, please do this to me. And so I did. And it was fun. I got her off on the massage table. And then quickly Scott took over and started playing with her. And then I took the other two girlfriends into the other room, and then her and Scott ended up following us in. And this is where things get actually really natural and easy. So instead of like when I first start to think I'm going to host an orgy, I worry sometimes like, is it going to flow? Is everybody going to feel good? Like, how is it going to all unfold? And what I've found both times that I've done this is it's actually incredibly natural. So people just start taking their clothes off. They start sprawling out on the bed. We have a king size bed. And then someone takes charge. And again, with Scott and I, typically him and I are the ones leading and taking charge of the ladies. And I feel like when I'm hosting, it is my job to make sure everybody has pleasure. So lips are on all the parts and fingers are on parts. And oh my gosh, there was this incredible moment that I had. I was my head was close to Steph's, and we both look up, and there's like person on person on person, and like Scott's fucking someone from behind, and she's going down on another person, and then there's her and I looking and just observing all of this magic, and we look at each other, and we both go, "Holy fuck, this is so hot!" And then you just go until everybody ends up in a sweaty heap, and everybody's satisfied. It is literally that easy. Again, I highly recommend lube on either side of the bed, at least two, so that people have access if they need it or want it. I have recently bought a sex chair. I think I talked about this on one of my other solo episodes. It's fucking awesome. If you don't have one, I highly recommend getting one. I was able to get mine used. Sounds kind of gross, right? But we have close friends that sold it to me for like $400. I think it's the Liberator. Does that sound right? Liberator chair. Um, and then I have this amazing stand-up mirror, like floor-length mirror from Amazon, and I will put the link below in case you guys want to go check that out. It's super easy to move, and I am very visual. I like to see everything, and then I also use it with my partners and make them watch themselves as they play with me or whoever. So I had the chair, and then behind the chair, I had the mirror, and we're like in the corner of the bedroom. So you can also see all the action behind you in the mirror, which is exciting. And I have a strap on that I am now pretty good at using. And I sat in the chair and then I let the girlfriends bounce on me. And it was so much freaking fun. And my pro tip here is if you are only playing with one other guy and you have multiple women, it's really helpful when another woman has a dick. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, it's something that I do to try to help Scott because there's so many vaginas in the room. And I really enjoy it. So I'm also getting very good at dirty talk. I've realized when I am playing Dom, when I'm switching into a dominant role, I've gotten like pro level at my dirty talk and the things that I request from my girlfriends, like I want you to go down on this dick, and then and then I'll be like, can you take all of me in? And I'm sure it's like so confusing because, clearly I have all these female parts, but then we have this big blue dick that we play with. It's so much fun. So to wrap this sucker up, um, 10 out of 10, highly recommend having an orgy. If you have never had one, curating one. If you've never had one and you want to make one, start to make your intentions known. Like start to tell your close friends, start to tell your partners if you have more than one, that that's something that you would really desire and that you're interested in. And then start to kind of curate people in your life that would be down to have one. It doesn't mean if you have people in your life that that's not something that they're interested in, that you throw them out with the bathwater. Like you just curate a group of people that are like, hey, a couple times a year, I'm totally down to have an amazing orgy. All right, guys. I hope this was a fun episode. I don't always share my personal life, but I thought this one was worth sharing. So there you go. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Open Bedroom Podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, go ahead and give us a like and click subscribe below and stay up to date on all the new episodes that we release. If you have a topic that you'd really like more information on, leave us a comment below and we'll see what we can do. Feel free to share this podcast with all of your friends and especially your partners. This is a great way to open up some amazing conversations. We'll see you next week.